Hello everybody. Today we're here to talk about my passion. Swim 2.4 miles, ride a bike for 112 miles, then run a marathon, 26.2 miles. That might sound crazy to you, but to over 175,000 Americans that are registered with the U.S. Triathlon Association, it's not crazy to them. I wonder how many of you out there know that 1/3 of all Americans are obese, according to the American Medical Journal, and 17% of our youth in America are obese. They're not just overweight, they're obese. Today I hope what I share with you maybe will change somebody out there's life. There's been studies conducted by the Harvard, Brigham and Women's Medical Association and the Cancer Institute that shows if you would just go out and briskly walk for 150 minutes each week, you can extend your life up to 7 years. 7 years of your life you can add just by going out and briskly walking. Can you imagine? I'm not a rocket scientist, but training for triathlons, the amount of time that goes in to train for these, they say that Methuselah lived for 969 years. If you train for triathlons, surely to God you can live more than just 7 years. All that being said, I'm hoping what we can share today will change somebody's out there's life. You have to get started somewhere. When I turned 48 years old a year and a half ago, I looked in the mirror and I said, I'm overweight and I want to change this. I've always wanted to run in a triathlon, so I'm just going to do it. Before I get too old and I just can't go out there and do it anymore, I'm going to do it. So I started training, I started exercising, I started dieting, I lost weight, and now I've completed in 2 triathlons. There's a lot of things you need to get started in triathlon. First is take the first step. One of the other things you need is you have to buy a bicycle. You don't necessarily have to have a triathlon specific bicycle, but you have to have a bicycle. You need a pair of goggles. You do a lot of swimming in triathlon, you have to have a pair of goggles. Running shoes, very important. An indoor trainer is not necessary, but it can be helpful, especially if wherever you live, you can't train in the wintertime. You don't have to take my word for it. John Boyd is proof also. When he turned 46 years old, he decided he wanted to run a triathlon also. He started training. 22 months later, he completed his first Ironman. Yes, he swam 2.4 miles, rode a bike 112 miles, and then ran a marathon in 11 hours, 28 minutes, and 1 second on October the 13th of 2013. This is something that can change your life. There are many different types of triathlons. There's not just the Ironman triathlons. There's a sprint triathlon, there's an Olympic distance triathlon, there's a half Ironman triathlon, and there's a full triathlon. The sprint distance is something I would recommend if you decide you want to do this, this is what you start with. The sprint is a lot smaller. Usually I have about a 500-yard swim, a 12-mile bike ride, and then you have usually a 5K run. The Olympic distance is about twice that. A half Ironman is about twice that. You have a 1.2-mile swim, a 56-mile bike ride, and then a half marathon, 13.2 miles. All of this might sound like a lot to you. You have to get started somewhere. When I started, I went to the pool, could swim down and back, and thought I was going to die. The first time I rode my bike, I rode for 5 miles and thought, oh my gosh, I just can't do this. But you can. I'm telling you, you just have to take that first step. Like Martin Luther King once said, I have a dream, I have a dream also. I dream that all of you that are listening to this today would take that first step and sign up for a triathlon. It could change your life. This could be what extends your life by 7 years. Thank you. Hope you take that first step.